they're not number one today. The Cubbies have been swept. I love you guys, and welcome to another edition of All Andy Alfred, right here on ClayFan23. I'm your host, Andrew Alfred. Gotta tell you, interesting one at Comerica Park today, but I want to talk about last night's action before I bring in my special guest for today's show. The Tigers are on top of the Cubs last night. Go Tigers! They won 5-3. Minor gets the win. Harding gets the loss, and 15th save for Fernando Rodney. Home runs for Cabrera and Laird for the Tigers, and Giovanni Solo gets a home run last night. Other scores in the Major League: Cleveland on top of Cleveland, a loser actually, to Pittsburgh 6-10. Boston, a winner against Washington 6-4. The Yankees on top of the Atlanta Braves 8-4. Toronto, a winner against the against Cincinnati, and they won 8-2. The Chicago White Sox, a winner last night, 10-7 on top of the Dodgers. KC, a winner over Houston 4-3. The Mets, a winner 11-0, and the Twins are a loser again. They lost 4-3 yesterday. It gives me great pleasure to welcome in the founder and the CEO of Airsoft and Sports Funboards.net. Please welcome my guest, Nick Devera.
Thanks, Andy. It's always nice to be welcomed. Big fan of your show. Been following now for the last week or two. I think you do a good job with this, and I hope you in the future can continue to make some quality shows.
Um, for those of you who do not know, me and Nick were attending the Chicago Cub Detroit Tiger game this afternoon. I'm trying to get into camera. Hi there. I'm right there. I was on Fox Sports Detroit on Tigers Live this afternoon, so I'm doing the same thing I was doing earlier, trying to fit into the camera. But the Tigers are winner today, 6-5. Galarraga getting his 4th win of the season. He improves his ERA to 5.565. Ted Lilly now 7-5 with a 3.41 ERA. And again, Rodney gets his 16th save. Now, Nick, I want to say I was surprised at all the Cubs fans that showed up to Comerica Park. I mean, you gotta admit, that was pretty cool to see. It was like basically for me a road game. I mean, you had the Chicago faithful there, and you also had the Detroit fans that were there. I mean, it was just basically like a road game for them. What is your take on that? I mean, it's simple enough.
Well, Andy, it's pretty basic. The Cubs have been in the WGN Superstation for the last 50 years, so they have been able to build a big fan base. So I mean, it's a big national fan base. So whenever they go to different parks, especially interleague, when they get to go to the new ballparks, uh, fans usually come to the AL parks or even the National League parks in big swarms, similar to what you see with Boston and New York.
I agree with that. But I have a question. You think that the more, because today was a sellout for the Tigers, do you think that was also played a factor because they're going on a road trip now that sees them playing 8 games on the road before coming back home before the All-Star break? Do you think that also plays into a factor? And also, does interleague play bring in more fans than typical AL versus AL games? What's your take on that? I mean,
Well, I think a lot them being on the road for 8 games really did affect. They want to see Tigers before they go away for a week, plus a couple days. I think Inland Lake has a lot to do with attendance because you get a chance to see a ballpark you usually get to go to. For years, the Reds and Indians only play each other exhibition games. Now, 6 times a year they play each other. You know, People from up northern Ohio can go see the Indians, and Cincinnati. I'm sorry. Indians fan in Southern Ohio can see the Indians play in Cincinnati now without having to drive all the way up to Cleveland and vice versa. You see that a lot of states, New York City, Chicago, the Bay Area, Florida, Texas. That's yeah. Really shitty doing this, but I don't care.
I want to apologize. We're having a little mic problems because, well, apparently our technical staff doesn't know how to do a microphone, and our technical director is Katie Alfred. So if you know her, you know her to not know about technicians. She should be fired. But your father was with us today. He's a Cub fan, and you think, I mean, he felt like it was for me it felt like it was a road game. For him it felt like a home game. But boy, it was just fun to watch baseball. I mean, but it was so hot. 93 degrees was the temperature at game time. And it was also just so uncomfortable, especially in the upper level, because we had seats up in the upper level. It was so uncomfortable to watch the game. But what can you do? I mean, the economy is what it is. I mean, you get a good seat for $28. That ain't bad. I mean, you go into the parks. Do you think it also plays in the factor of where fans want to sit? Because you saw more. Did you see more Cub fans down on the lower level, or did you see them more up in the upper level where we were sitting?
Well, I saw more Cubs fans down the lower bowl. I know we had that one section behind us to our left, up behind us, but I think a lot of them were down in the lower bowl because a lot of them I noticed sat on the third base side before we got up to our seats. I mean, there was a swirl of blue. I don't, Detroit, like South Chicago, is a very blue collar town. I mean, when economy's bad, people are going to sit where it's cheap.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it. I mean, they're good. They're hardworking people in Michigan. They can only afford so much for baseball. A lot. That's a lot of the U.S. is, and I think that once the economy gets booming, more people will be willing to sit in the better seats. I'm not really worried about attendance for baseball. We all knew it was gonna be down this year anyway.
Well, well put. I have to say, well put. Um, this is all Andy Alfred. If you're watching, we're gonna do a two-part show. I've just been told we're gonna do a two-part show. This is part one because I'm giving you the scores of last night's game, and we're also gonna do a part two, and we're gonna get more in depth with the founder of Airsoft and Sports, Nick Devera, and we're gonna talk to him. Do you realize, fans, he is a White Sox fan? We're gonna talk to him about that. But stick around for the second part of All Andy Alfred right here on Clay Fan 2, 3.